Hello, Midland friends. I decided to record a video instead of sending you a long email tomorrow about the City Council meeting today at the Bush Convention Center. It was a long day, 9 to 12:30, and then 1 to now. Pretty much 4:30 in the afternoon. It was a long day, very productive, very good day of work. And again, the doors were open for the community, but of course not many people knew about that. I was the only one there, and I would just like to give you an update and a summary of everything that happened. It was a lot. Of course, I'm not going to be able to do much here, just a 36,000 feet picture. But the first thing before I even start, there's something that is going to happen tomorrow. And again, this was not announced on the media. It's not on MRT. It's not on CBS 7. It's not on News West 9. It's not on your basing. It's not anywhere to be found. It's only, according to what I could talk to Dan Corrales, it's only on his social medias, Instagram and Facebook, I believe. So as I don't do Instagram, Facebook anymore, I didn't even see that. I didn't know about that. So tomorrow, February 22nd, starting at 11:30 and ending at 1 p.m. at Bush Convention Center, same place of today, February 22nd, 11:30 a.m., Bush Convention Center. He has a town hall, and the topic is, do you have any questions about Midland's water supply? He's going to be there with a couple of experts, not only himself as a city council member at large, one of our city council at large, but he's going to be there to talk to people about this. If you have any question, if you can show up. Of course, it is so hard for people to stop working or have a break, a lunch break, to be there. But again, tomorrow, super last minute thing, 11:30 to 1 p.m. at Bush Convention Center, at a town hall, to talk about the water supply in Midland. So let me go back here on my notes. I took a lot of notes. Let me go to the beginning here. Give me 1 second. And I prefer to pretty much read for you what happened throughout the day by reading topic by topic and elaborating a little bit. So first of all, what I wanted to say was I was very grateful for the opportunity to be there, and I expressed my gratitude to Mayor Lori Blanc and to a couple of the council members there, because it was a very good opportunity for those who do not know the dynamics behind the curtains that they have behind the curtains, in the sense of their relationship with each other, their relationship with staff members, especially in the managerial positions. It was a very good picture of that. It was a photo of that for 8 hours, 7 hours. It was very good to see their body language. And because, again, they were not in front of a crowd, they were not in a formal city council hearing, so they were able to be themselves. So number one, I wanted to say that I was very grateful that they opened it to the community. And if you would be there, if you could have been there, you would see those guys as they are, right? As people, not only as the ones in elected positions of authority. So one of the things that we need to understand here very clearly is that the background for this meeting. I know that they met after the critical Hogan Park deal vote, that the vote against the park renovation process, the way it was being presented when it was denied. I think this was the first moment when they got all of them, all of the 6 council members plus the mayor together for a discussion like that. I know that some of them have been able to be present at a couple of hearings around the city, but I think it was the first formal meeting that all 7 of them were there. So we need to understand what is the background of everything that was going on before this meeting. The Hogan Park battle was going on. I mean, still going on. A lot of the people in town, not only the council, but a lot of ordinary citizens, a lot of business people, a lot of people that somehow our community leaders were very much upset, and they made that disturbance very clear on the newspapers, especially on MRT, but also on News West 9 and CBS 7. So this is the background of everything that happened today, to my knowledge, right? The Hogan Park battle, the personal and public attacks that some of the council members received from each other very publicly. I cannot tell anything about social media because I've been out of social media for over 2 years now, but I am sure that was an issue as well. My brains are failing me right now. By the way, it was so cold there after the winter, and they boosted the air conditioning, and I sneezed pretty much the entire day, runny nose. So my voice is a little bit funny, but let's do it. So the media posts, the personal and public attacks, but it seemed to me that many of them, or some of them at least, had several individual and team meetings with this consultant. By the way, the name of the guy is Mr. Lyle Summik. And for you to know who he is and his company is, his business is, I really recommend you to go to his website, www.lylesummik.com. Let me reverse that. LYLESUMEK.com. Lyle Summik. He's out of he came from Florida, and he spent the day here. From what I understood, that he said he has been in contact in like media, Zoom meetings, and phone calls with individually with each one of the members, council members. But today was the first time that he met all of them, and the city management. They were there as well. So take a look at his website, or their website, Lyle Summik Associates Inc. Incorporation. So it was very nice to see from the beginning Mayor Lori Blanc opening the meeting in prayer. Very sincere prayer. I could see a person that was not just repeating words. She was really praying from her heart, very sincere words, very close to something that you would expect somebody that has a degree of intimacy with the Lord, a person that really prays every day. So that was very comforting to me. It was joyful. It brought joy to my heart to see our mayor relating to the Lord in prayer and dedicating that time together and asking his involvement in all of that, his engagement, his blessing. It was very good to see that. So let me go now topic by topic, and I'm pretty much going to be reading this here. Well, I'm still on Mayor Lori's opening prayer. Number one, she's talked about the best position to actions. No, that is not the case. I am so sorry. That was the prayer period. Let me go to the beginning of the presentation of Mr. Summik's presentation. He said that by everything that he has been following up document-wise and talking to them on the phone, over the phone, and by Zoom meetings, he put 6 very important bullet points here right from the beginning. Number one being that we are right now in the best position for actions. that the council has been distracting itself somehow. And of course, we know what is behind the curtains of that. Pretty much, it was the Hogan Park deal. So there was a lot of distraction. He talked about fighting together. The mayor pointed out that the city is in a very good financial position right now. There's a lot of money in the city, and the vision that she wants to pass to the city is a vision of that Midland is a place worth investing. And he started talking about the difference between unanimity and unity, or unanimity and consensus, right? So Councilman Norman said that we need to do what we say, meaning they say that they're going to do. This is something that he said it's very critical, and I understood that it's something that has not been happening. They say things will happen and things do not happen. We can make a list of things, each one of us individually. They made a long list individually of things that they said would happen and didn't. Councilman Norman also says that he he doesn't want the council to fail, but sometimes that this is what he sees, and this is what somehow corroborated by Mr. Summick, because of different reasons. One of the reasons being future political careers. They dealt with a lot of personal and collective bitterness, and Mr. Summick said, well, guys, if one fails, the whole city fails. It's not only the council that fails, but the entire city fails. What else? Little steps toward helping the city. He was talking about, do not think about big million-based projects. Start with little steps. Mr. Summick was talking about this form of council management. This council management form of government started acting in America, or operating in America, in 1918. That is over 100 years ago. And the reason was that there was a lot of political corruption with the personality or the role of a strong mayor and a very weak council. So this changed, and they started acting in 1918 onwards to now in what he called a private sector model, with a board of directors being the collective power, the city manager being the CEO of this company, meaning the city hall, city council, city of Midland. And this is pretty much goes all around Texas. And he said that there are some exceptions in the northeastern area of the state of Texas. Rare exceptions. Pretty much the whole state of Texas work in a council management form of government, again operating since 1918. He said that he has been doing this, working with consulting and planning or development of plans, master plans in towns, for a long time, for many decades now. And he says that pretty much community service is not, or should not be, seen as something that is Republican or Democrat, meaning that he said, I don't care what party is leading the city. The city needs, he said, specifically exemplifying that, people need to open the water faucet, water tap, and water needs to run, and the garbage needs to be picked, and the streets and roads need to be good for traffic, and so on and so forth. And in that regard, he said, it doesn't matter if it is a Republican or a Democrat city. Things and services need to be working out. He was talking about government, meaning being the what. What is it that people do in government? And the management being the how. So the governance or the government level tells the managerial guys how to do things. And those are the guys that are going to bring it down to the service actions, the proper and the specific actions that need to be done in the city. And it was very good that he did that, this hierarchical difference. But of course, he said all of these three areas, government, management, and service areas, they intertwine because they need to be very interactive. One thing that he told all of the council members, starting with the mayor, was anytime you have a question from a citizen or an ordinary person or a businessman, do not rush to give them the answer. Just say, let me check it. Let me check with my staff. Let me check it with city management, and I will get back with you. And this would be the proper way of doing this. Because he says questions that are asked by actually the mayor and the council so many times may sound and may be received by management and service arenas as orders. So he said, be very careful with the questions that you ask them so that they do not sound as that you wanted them to do something. And he gave a couple of examples from San Diego in California, from Albuquerque in New Mexico, Florida, where he now lives. Several different examples of mayor and members, council members that asked questions, and the management and the service areas absorbed that as if those were requests. And then there was a very negative reaction from media, from the community, and that caused a lot of trouble. And it was very funny when he told the examples. But again, for the mayor and for the council, it's not funny at all. You have to have unifying goals. Non-decisions and delayed decisions are roadblocks, meaning are decisions in themselves. So he says you need to decide, even if it is a no, as happened in the Hogan Park deal. You decided very quickly meaning as soon as this thing blew off and it was exposed, they came out with a very quick answer to that, a no answer. Said non-answer, delayed answers are roadblocks, are problems. Because when you do not delay decisions, you have time to adjust your responses, and you can tell people what is actually going to happen in that regard, in the regard to that specific service that has been requested. One sentence that he brought out, and I took note of it here for myself, and it was very powerful to me, is we cannot have complacency with mediocrity. And I assimilated that for myself. But of course, he was talking about the council. Complacency with mediocrity. We have to be excellent in everything we do. He talked about right now, each one of the council members, even Amy Burks, the newly elected city council member, should be grooming others to replace them well. Every single one of them. He asked the question, have you been thinking about that? I know that you're not going to be here forever. Have you been thinking of who can replace you? Somebody that would have the same heart of service that you have for the city. He put out a chart, C-H-A-R-T, chart of what happens in the decision making of the City Hall, City Council concerning public projects for the city. He says, on the one hand, 20% of people will never accept anything. They will always be against that. So he said that's an average, 20%. On the other hand, other 20% of people will be very positive all the time. And these two groups of people, the positives and the against group, they will never, ever agree. So he said, you should focus on the other 80% of people, actually 60% of people that want to receive communication from you in order to make decisions, in order to make up their minds and see if they are going to support you or not support you. So 20-20 and 60 right in the middle. We talked about new ideas. He talked about drafting reports for the community as a way of best communicating the projects, the incoming and upcoming projects, communicating also challenges and problems. He said that good governance is always boring in the sense that when everything works perfectly and you don't have challenges and problems, that is in itself a problem because it becomes boring. So you need to have those hiccups, those bumps on the road, so you can wake up and see four things or see two things that you have not thought for before that plan, that project, that idea started being drafted. He was talking about the importance of work sessions vis-a-vis public hearings. He said public hearings, they are very formal, they are very official, and you are sort of in a box. You are closed, shut down in a box. You need to decide. That is a time when you need to decide things, yes or no, or at least table some of the things. But on the work sessions, open to the public, open to the community, the city council members are not in suit and ties. They're not in a formal environment, and they can best express their opinions, even if their opinions are completely dumb, as he said, stupid, sound stupid, or even opinions coming from the public, from the community. One highlight that he also took note of was the fact that people nowadays, because of the increasing polarization in the country, people have been becoming increasingly mean, using abusive language, and even coming to the point of threatening city staff, city council members. And this is a moment that everybody's nervousness, everybody's problems, challenges in life come right there in city council, and so many times that can just blow off, and you have to control that. You have to know how to deal with the entire situation. So this is why he said work sessions would work much better in a much smoother environment, a much collegial and friendly environment than the public hearing. So he said you need to increase these work sessions between yourselves and also bringing the community. What else? Making people happy should not be your interest, he said, because you are never going to be able to make people happy 100% on one side, 100% on the other side. That's impossible. And there are not only two sides to city projects, there are many sides so many times. So do not focus on making people happy, because you may encounter even legal problems if you do that, as he cited some examples, again, from California, from other states where he has worked before. He was talking about who's the next generation of public servants. The city needs to be paying attention to that. And again, back to the point that he had made before, who are you grooming? Who are you preparing to replace you in the long term or in the short term period? Then he asked them to define what success is and define the image of the council outside, what the image was that they wanted the community to have. So I'm going to quote here. I'm not going to grade them, because they graded each one of these lines, each one of these topics, to which ones would be the most important for them. I'm going to just read everything that came out. They want the best for Midland. They want to work on goals for 5 years. They want to be fiscally responsible stewards of the city money and the city works, positive ambassadors of the city, clear distinction between, provide a clear direction and delegation of powers in the city projects, respect roles, each one of the roles of members and staff, focus on big issues, have a unified direction, have clear priorities. Trust was a word that was repeated over and over and over again, and I assume that it's a reverberation or an echo from the Hogan Park deal. Trust. Communication, two-way communication. He needs to be honest. We need to listen to others. We need to make Midland a better place to live. We need to get things done. We need to have individual and collective priorities, and then of course make one priority for the body of members to work on. We need to look at the needs of the community and provide responses for that, even if the response is just by a verbal response, a verbal way. We need to tackle difficult decisions. We need to collaborate, retain good staff. That was a very good and a very strong highlight. Retain good staff. We need to pride in the community. We have to have equitable access to information. And of course, I didn't like the word equitable. I prefer the word equal, equalize, something like that, access to information. The image of the city. We need to be seen as a whole community. WHOEL or LE, whole community. We need to be, as city council members and staff members, cheerleaders for the city. We need to work as a team. We need community engagement. We need partnerships. We need to empower the staff, respect people and treat them in a caring manner. We need to work with passion and empathy, be positive, reaffirming, thoughtful, provide results for the community. Work with ethics. A high level of ethics is required. Integrity all the time. And they stressed integrity all the time. Work hard for the city. Work through adversity. Work well through adversity. Agree to disagree. Selflessness. Feeling, and this is was a point of disagreement here. Provide the city with a feeling of looking good or feeling good. I don't agree with that at all. We don't need to feel good or look good in terms of the city. We need to get things done. Be very straightforward and very objective about that, right? Pragmatic, that's the word that I was looking for. We need to be approachable. People need to have easy access to us. We need to take care of basic service without drama. And this was Mayor Lori Blanc's expression. We need to take care of basic services without drama. I think I know what she's talking about, but I don't want to risk anything here. How each one of the council members wanted to be treated, that was another part of the exercise. With respect, with love, not make big things about personal views, points of views, but big issues. So this is the problem between issues and personal things. So let's focus on the issues, not on personal things. The mayor said, I don't like surprises. We cannot work with things that come to the table like last minute and nobody is prepared to say anything or to do anything about that. No surprises. Treat mistakes with grace. Mistakes that each one of them will make in the future. Agree to disagree and move on. No threats, no accusation. Inclusiveness, play by the rules, and play by the roles, as they said, each one in his or her own lane and role specifically. Forgiveness for past hurts and disappointments. We need to share success, not say this is my plan or this is my project, but this is our project, meaning not the city council, but the city, the community's achievement. Again, to collaborate, positive speaking of others, candidness and candor. This was Dan Corrales, and this is why I love him more each day, more and more, because I have pretty much the same type of personality that he has. Anyways. Well, it's been too long, 30 minutes. Let me just wrap up here. Expectations. So he put 3 points. Number 1, what should be the expectations of the council members toward the mayor or regarding the mayor? Then the expectations of the council toward the city manager, and then what should be the expectations, or what were actually the expectations of the mayor and the city manager concerning the members, the council members. So concerning the mayor, they said we want a transparent mayor, honest, professional, accessible, somebody that leads by example, somebody that acts selflessly. We need impartiality. We want her to be impartial. We expect her to be a force of unity and be a sound voice in the council. They focused on, actually, Mr. Summick focused on the difference between control and influence. That was a big one. Don't try to control, just do the best you can to influence results. Let's see, Lori should not be a representative of groups, any specific groups, but the entire city. And this is where I think that this is, again, a reverberation of the Hogan deal, because that was the first big challenge that Lori Blanc as a mayor had. So, guys, in general, of course, the second part, and I did not take any note about that. It was longer than I expected. It was a second portion of the afternoon after lunch when they started discussing the relationship between the members, council members, and the staff. And then it was very clear some disharmony. Can I say that? Lack of harmony, a lack of fine-tuning. Staff members did not know how to react sometimes to their requests because they are understaffed, because the deadline is not possible to be met. So it was a moment when they were very candid, very sincere, very open. And again, I was the only one not part of this, let's say, quote unquote family, right? City Hall family there. All of them were either elected officials or the appointed officials. City lawyer was there, the attorney was there, city manager was there, and 4 other managers were there. So they were very candid, and I was thinking to myself, wow, they know that I'm here, and they are opening things here that are very private to their relationship as a family, right? But I was very satisfied, grateful to see what I saw today. And I put it somewhere here. I just passed by, didn't see it. I was there today just to provide you all with the State of the City Council, City Hall report. The state of our city is good. It's a good one. We have city members, we have a mayor and city council members and city staff that are really committed and engaged in making this city a better city for all of us, for our children, for our grandchildren. I appreciate very much all of those who texted me today and encouraging me and thanking me for being there. Again, it is my honor, and I feel it's my duty right now to report all of that to you. I'm so sorry that I made it almost 35-minute video, but I prefer to be more personal than writing a long email down. I know that many of you have a lot to do, and this is something that you can be listening to as you are doing your errands throughout the day, or that you can spare some time in the evening to do that. With that said, I want to remind you again, if you can, tomorrow 11:30 at Bush Convention Center, they're going to be talking about Dan Corolla is going to be leading a town hall on the water supply, Midland water supply, for now and for the future. I think that is going to be a big issue in the coming years. I will be there, and as soon as it ends, in order to get it fresh, as I did today, I want to sit down and either record another video or send you general information on that. So with that, I say farewell. I am so glad that for your friendship, for your support. I am so grateful. And you can count on us here at Nehemiah to somehow keep you all up to date on everything that is going on in our town. Not only what is going on right now, but what the plans are for the future. We need to do that. We need to engage. We need to be very participative. And as soon as the trumpet needs to be blown to gather you for something like the Hogan Park deal that we needed people there, I will do that. Okay? Thank you very much. God bless you all. And thank you so much for your patience with this video and your attention. Blessings. Bye-bye.